Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now, we having spiritual. We having little burp ups. And what I mean by that, we burping up all the little lower vibrations, all that repressed energy, is coming up and coming out. Some of us, we may be dealing with this and thinking like, damn, I've been meditating, everything going good, and this negative energy is still coming out. Like, like you may be thinking that it's like something going wrong, like as far as like, because I had that in my experience before, where it's like meditation, everything was so on point, then it felt like all of a sudden, but all of a sudden it's like all these negative thoughts come out of like stuff of the way my old self would think, or just lower vibrations in general, whether it seemed like it was mine or somebody else, but in most cases it was my stuff. And it will come up and I'm like, damn, how I finished meditating. No, matter of fact, I've been in a meditative state all day. Why this popping up? But in the fact of transmuting energy or getting rid of energy, everything that's within you got to come out some type of way, form, or fashion. And whether you actually let it out physically speaking it, or an act of doing something, or a thought that just has to come out as a thought form, for it to be released. But we'll have these little spiritual burp ups, little burp. As a matter of fact, just like a burp, after you burp, it's like, now you got room to digest, got room to consume some more. But in this essence, you got room to consume some more food for your soul, compared to like when you like full of air and you cloud it up. Like a straight up personification, of repressed energy is like a burp or gas. It's like it's in there and it like, it gotta come out. And when you think about a burp or a fart or passing gas, however you like to say it, it doesn't smell pleasant, but it had to come out for the healthiness of the body. You know what I'm saying? Some way, form, or fashion, it had to come up. And two, those repressed energies like gas and burping and stuff like that in most cases come from consuming something that may not be too healthy for the body. So all those things throughout our life, whether it's this life or past life, but most cases to be within this lifetime, all those bad things, quote unquote bad things, are things that were unhealthy to the body, mind, body, and soul. All those things that are unhealthy to the mind, body, and soul is coming up in burp form, or like in us releasing the energy. And a reason why I'm bringing this up too, because I thought about my every now and then I might have a little rant, whether it's on Instagram or I might have a video rant in essence. And realizing, there's just an energy release. Recently on Instagram I had a little rant about I did a post with the Colin Kapernick, being hung and the other football players leaving them hanging, and I also did a video about, speaking figuratively and literally, like, don't leave the prophets hanging, and I just was in some kind of, vibe of like I just had to release, because I even had to put in there like, hey, I know I'm a part of the matrix and I don't want to get too involved in this energy, but I just had to burp this out, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a little burp. It's just a little, that's what rants, and that's just like, matter of fact, too, and not, again, just like burping and fighting, like think about trying to hold a burp in, or trying to hold a, some gas in, not fighting or passing gas, like how much that harms your body, And of course, and look at it like this too, just the same exact analogy. Like, of course, some people probably think that your fart gonna stink, but it's not about what they think. It's about what's good for your body. So what's best for your body is to express yourself in that form of burp or passing gas, or ranting, whatever it is, but expressing. And right now, too, is a message to everyone to not be startled or tripped out if you got a lot of that darkness, burping out, you know, coming out of these places that you thought were no longer existing within, you know. It's just more transmutation, you know, more energy being transmuted. And, you know, in some cases, as much as we wish something could just pop off into the ethers, like we just forget about it and it's gone, you know. It's like some things, you know, it takes a little more work, where it's something, it may be something coming from a certain chakra or something, like it may be within the throat chakra, so that's why you gotta express it, you know, whatever the case may be, or something dealing from within the heart, so you gotta express it in the action, you know, of showing the love or whatever the case may be. But you know, it's just, again, getting rid of repressed energy. You know, I think about repressed energy when you reason why, and I made a video about this, the lump in your throat when you try to stop from crying. Well, you know, lump in your throat, that's where your throat chakra at. That's expression. So as little kids, you know, much love to our parents. They didn't have the book on you know, how to discipline your kids properly. And especially being somebody melanated in America, especially in the South, because, you know, the way parents discipline from our little area is basically, you, as a matter of fact, the Adrian Peterson situation, when you think about his situation, I'm not getting into that, but like where the overly whipping the kids was just so slave master don't put his hands on the kids. And when you think about that, you know, I picture that and I'm like, yeah, I see why they tore our ass like that. It's like, I wouldn't want the person who feeds babies to alligators to deal with my kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, just do what I gotta do. But that vibe stems into our discipline. So speaking more so too for the South, like I just think about like that, you better stop crying. And like, I remember sometimes telling my mom, like, I can't, like my throat stopped up, you know, like I can't, my throat hurt, you know, whenever I try to stop, you know. And when she, you know, and thanking source for being within, you know, in which is different karmic situations, so to not get deep into that, you know, because I know some people, you know, may have had it harsher than other ones, depending on, you know, or should I say harsher than others with your upbringing, but, you know, it's karmic ties and all that, you know, we chose our parents, we chose our situations, don't forget that. So when we go to thinking about how we might have got our ass toe up, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, on a discipline level, we also asked to incarnate within the families that we incarnated in. So whatever. Back to suppressing expression. Like whenever you try to stop yourself from crying, you know, and releasing, that blocks up the throat chakra. So again, like my little rant that I had, you know, with like not letting the prophets hang, not leaving them hanging, it was like just something that I just was like feeling like I gotta let this out, because every time as I was typing and I was trying to retract from it, something just was like, nah, let this shit out, you know, like basically I kind of got that voice like, nah, let this out, you know, because too, after I did it, like I don't have to talk on that subject no more, you know what I'm saying? Same thing as I always say as above, so for all these situations. But I think about like dealing with my father passing away, is like transitioning. It's like I made sure that I cried and got it out of my system. And even to the point where after, you know, some of the little crying or whatever, and I felt it be, you know, felt like it was gone. I'm like, man, let me make sure. And what I would do is play one of my dad's favorite songs, you know. Matter of fact, I think it's After the Rain by Lee Oscar. Lee Oscar is a pretty popular old school harmonica player, but I play it, and even the song itself kind of could have a tear-jerking effect, even without it having the sentimental value that it had. But like I would listen to it to, you know, to see if it would tear-jerk, and if so, I'd be smiling, I'd be laughing with him, like, fool, I know you still around and not a physical. I'm just getting all this. I miss your physical vibration out of my being, you know, just getting it out. So I would do that as a little test to just, you know, see what was left and get it all out. But again, that's what we dealing with right now, in essence, is just having these little burps, these spiritual burp ups, you know, passing gas, you know. And even though it may stink, like some people might have saw my little rant, I'm like, oh man, matter of fact, just not liking it in so many words. But it's like, I had to fight. No, excuse me. But I had to get some repressed energy out. That's all it is. We keep it moving. And that's why I like, again, because back to the importance, though, of not being too tied to what humans not growing on a spiritual level. Don't let that bother you, like on some, like, I gotta wake everybody up. Man, we in this little matrix. You do what you do, as far as, putting information out there and helping. But it's not for our heart to weigh heavier than that feather. We are more than we are vibrations on the human experience. Don't get too caught up in the human part. More on the vibration and the spirit part, but not so much on the human part. And nothing wrong with expressing some of that humanity, because you are in a physical body. Again, just like the rant, it's in the these energies are in the physical body, and sometimes on the human level, we have little rants or express ourselves in that manner. We fight, we burp, we poop, we throw up, whatever. It's just part of the body. You know what I'm saying? But remember that you are a vibration. First and foremost, you're just on a human experience. You're not a human experiencing vibrations, or human on a spiritual, experience. You are a spirit or a soul or a high vibration on a human experience. And it's about the perfect amount of being here while being detached, And I thought of a joke, like, how, some people may feel like, oh, well, if we're in a matrix so much, then why even, live to that extent? I mean, I think of it like this, when you, just like we have, because this was popped into my head, like, well, having a kid, and just because this place is a matrix, that don't mean when you have a kid, you could just throw them in the trash can, like, oh, well, this is just a matrix, what I'm saying, nothing matters. Nah, you don't throw your kid in the trash can. I mean, of course, it's a matrix, and, the things that we deal with in this physical reality are not our true existence. But at the same time, it's like playing San Andreas and constantly, walking your, say for instance, I think about San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto, CJ. It's like taking CJ and constantly taking him into the water and drowning him, and then every time he comes back, you just take him back in the water and drown him. I mean, you could sit around and do that, but I mean, that's to each his own on whether you feel that's fun or not. But again, it's like I'd rather just play the game. So instead of just like, oh man, what the hell with it, I'm gonna just lay here and this and that, it's like, nah, do what you do, because we did come and play this game for a reason. So just follow your heart at what you should be dealing with in this little game. Go to I don't know if all y'all familiar with the GTA San Andreas, but you go to Ryder House, see what missions he got, what I'm saying? You go to this little area, holler at Smoke, see what missions he got, what we got to do, you go through the little motions, take care of your missions. Cause it's like being an actor. We already picked out what like, say for instance, the role within the movie is already picked out. So in Training Day, the character that Denzel played, like the storyline for that character was already written out. You know what I'm saying? So when Denzel took that charge, free will, he took that role with his free will, like, what, I'm gonna be that person in Training Day. But also, while being the person you are in this act, so being universal frequencies or call ray or whatever that is, it has somewhat of a fate to it, because yes, like, this character's already written out, so you in essence you are dealing with being this character, but it's also putting your own uniqueness to how you playing this character, like how you doing this. Excuse me, because when you think about it, that character from Training Day had the same template, but there's a difference from Denzel playing it and I'm thinking of a comedian like what's my boy Lavelle Crawford. You know what I'm saying, a jokester compared to somebody who takes those type of roles a different way, you know. It could be played differently, but it already, the character is the character, you know what I'm saying. So that's that paradox of the free will situation, where you with your free will as a entity or energy within this construct of the universe, you know, you chose to come down as this certain character. And yeah, it may have a certain template to this character, a certain quote-unquote fate to this character, but you know, you act it out in the way you want to act it out. You know, you improvise it. You know, you could throw in a little line here that the director didn't say was supposed to be in the movie right there, you know. Because too, in essence too, like with taking a lot of these roles, there is that improvisation. Like, and this has layers to it on how, like, you know, Hollywood be with the foolishness on trying to you know, portray certain images. But I think to Dave Chappelle's story on when he was in the movie Blue Streak, if y'all familiar with Blue Streak, is a movie with Martin was the main character, but Dave Chappelle was in it. And Dave Chappelle talked about how, like, behind the scenes in that movie, where that was one of the first times they tried to put him in a dress type of vibe, where they was like, man, you know what'd be funny, Dave? You know, if you man, if you wore a dress and this and that, and, you know, you act like it. He was like, nah, man, I don't need to wear no dress. You know what I'm saying? Him being his true to his soul spark while still acting in the movie. You know, it's like, nah, bro, I'd rather not wear that dress, you know, because for whatever reason, you know, it may be, I just rather not. You know. And that's the vibe, like having the vibe of being able to improvise the part you playing in this movie. You know? But I don't want to go too deep, because a lot of these subjects, again, well, I speak on in older videos, but I'm just revamping some of this for, you know, some of the newcomers. And I am, since I'm constantly learning, you know, when I do bring up some of these subjects, it do have a different flavor to it, you know, in essence, because I done learned a little more. So, you know, some of my videos you'll see, like, where I might have been talking different from what I'm talking right now because of missing information, in essence, you know, or certain information that I hadn't come across yet. So that's why sometimes I do come back across these subjects. And two, because this is just the subject matter in the ethers, like from my own downloads to when I get on YouTube and see what other subject matter is, I'm like, all right, this is what the energies is telling most of us all to deal with. So just thought I should speak on it. But that's basically it, you know. And leaving off on that note of, you know, spiritual energy, it was something I was gonna tie to I'm sorry, apologies for, but I'm just trying to catch this while I'm on the video. See, you get to really know that I'm doing these videos with one take, doing them live. Well, live in essence. I need to do I should do a live video very soon. There's something, but I was basically gonna bring up too about it was something about the slavery is a choice, and what Kanye brought up, you know. And there's nothing to get into the social aspect of it, or he's being this or this. I just know where it come from on a spiritual level, you know, as far as oh, that's what it was gonna tie up to. But anyway, on a spiritual level, it's like no, you do have a choice, you know, on whether you be a slave or not. You know, because even with a lot of us doing these videos, we have a choice to be extremely truthful, but we know that if we be extremely truthful by ourselves, and the rest of the people that's on the plantation not with the truthfulness, then, you know, that could jeopardize the physical nature, the physical bodysuit, So with that being said, again, it is a choice though. We could say it's, oh, I ain't got no choices and that as much as you want, but you really do. You got a choice. You could quit that job. That job killing you. You don't like that job. So why are you working it? Why are you going back? Maybe because you're a slave? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice though. It's definitely a choice to sit there and say, and then you give thanks to the Most High and believe that there's a Most High, but then you don't really believe there's a Most High because you don't want to quit your job. And we are in different places on our spiritual growth. Some of our belief in source, belief in God, it may be a little different from others. So it may be more difficult for some of us to, believe in source the way we say we believe in source, And I've been through that too, where it's like, oh man, like to say, for instance, like how I use the example of not just leaving my stuff out anywhere. Like, oh, I just believe in source so much to where, now we co-creating as well. So of course I believe in the source within on a high level, but it's layers to it. But it's definitely a choice, with a lot of things. It's a free will universe. And for the things that seem like it's in fate, you still have like a way of improvising it, and doing your own thing with it. But, just speaking to that whole, like being locked down in this construct, like, oh, I have to, like, no, we have to do. No, you don't. Like at any moment, everybody and all people could quit their jobs and have all these big corporations, like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying, like just go bankrupt all at once. Now, man, well, what we gonna do in that meantime, this and that, that's where the belief or the trust in source comes in, and knowing like, all right, man, source, I'm with you, source, so I know you're not gonna leave me hanging, no, I know you got me, and then you'll start to see things start to develop and come your way. So in the instance of like everybody quit their jobs, there's gonna be some light, it's gonna be something like being in the moment. You won't know until the moment you do it, because up until then your moment consists of clocking into that job and doing stuff you don't really feel like doing just to make money, in essence. And again, we all go through this as a growth, but we definitely want to get out of that construct. But oh, and that's what I was thinking about. All right, because I had to see, I had on my notes something to tie in to that Kanye situation, but it was more so too tying into rants, like how people seen that as like a little rant and him, doing something for attention. Yeah, it could, just like my little Instagram rant in essence could have been doing something for attention, or it could have been just me expressing myself, just getting it out there, that burp, that fart, and Kanye farted and a lot of people was like, damn, that shit stink. But his body felt good after you farted, and Kanye continues to show that, he don't give a damn about what y'all think his burps and farts smell like. And think about the fight he had on stage for the VMA. He farted in front of the world. Felt good. I don't smell shit. Like that's what it's about. And when you look at some of his not getting into depth to his situation, but like into some of his interviews and stuff, man, you see where he coming from. It's the same situation with Pac or anybody else, man. It's like They just make these people look crazy for expressing themselves. And then, matter of fact, leaving prophets hanging. And then there's a people's, when you don't understand what's going on, and you let the media, who's pimping your brain and against most of these situations, you know, you let the media guide you in a certain way and make you clown this person. So basically, this person trying to help you, and you laughing at them and clowning them, or talking about, oh, man, this fool crazy, this and that. You know, Michael Jackson making songs trying to save the whole world ass. You know, like trying to save everybody, but all you could think about is, oh yeah, he probably there with them little kids, ha ha ha. And that, man, that's as much as, yeah, I mean, it's cool to, like, you know, we in a physical matrix, so it's cool to make a joke about it, of course, you know, but at the same time, thinking about it on another level, it's like, man, you know, that brother did, you know, stand up for your ass. You know, and put some information out there to help you, you know. So again, like the brethren Bob say, how long shall they kill our prophets while you stand aside and look? You know, that's all it is. I was gonna sing the rest of it, but I just stopped. Y'all felt it too, but you know, just be aware. And within that same breath, because it's the theme of this whole situation is, you know, well, part of the theme is still don't get too caught up in the matrix. That, like, don't get too caught up in what Kanye said and how it made you feel. You know, don't get too caught up in these things that's going on in the physical matrix. Just do what you know, what you feel in your heart. If you feel you should go on a rant, then rant, or burp, or fight, you know. If you feel like you should meditate in the mountains, then go do your thing. If you feel like you should be an entertainer so you could share esoteric and occult information from an entertaining place, or entertainment level, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, do you. That's what you here to be doing, not to be listening to what universal frequencies say, all the other people. Is to do what your heart say. I'm just a little program, a little reflection of you, you know, doing a little video that you could look at and get a little aha moment from, and then go within yourself and do the inner work on that aha moment, or whatever the case may be. Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate. May not go too far in the future. May not go too far in the past. But right now, you see. You not see it. You not see it. Peace.